Well, good afternoon to you. Welcome to News Beat on Metro TV. I am Annie Fompofu. We'll bring you the news live from the Ekuabuahima studio at North Ridge. We're streaming on social media as Metro TV Ghana, on Instagram and Twitter as Metro TV _GH. We'll take a look at the headlines of the stories coming up. Arise Ghana protesters are also on the streets and they defy approved routes to demonstrate as they hit the street today over general hardship. More economists ask government to eat humble pie and seek an IMF bailout as it fails to rake in the needed revenue with the e-levy, further worsening Ghana's economic situation. And on the foreign front, at least 46 people have been found dead in the abandoned truck in the outskirts of San Antonio, Texas. Welcome back. Let's now give you the news in detail. Pressure group Arise Ghana has begun its demonstration against what it terms worsening economic conditions. Now, dubbed Krom Ayashe, that's her hashtag. The two-day protest is expected to draw Ghanaians from all walks of life to the demand better from government. My colleague Henry Kwesi Bedu joins us live with details of how far the demonstration has gone. Kwesi, thank you for your time. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Annie. As I speak to you now, we are still here at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, very close to where we call the Obra spot. The demonstrators are yet to begin the marching, and what they say is that they are defying, that is the orders that was given by the Accra High Court for them to begin the demonstration at 8 a.m. and end before 4 p.m. I have with me now one of the lead conveners of the Arise Ghana group, Listo Wananapoku, to speak to briefly, to ask him specifically when the demonstration will commence. Listo, you're welcome to Newsbeat on Metro TV.
Thank you so much.
When are we starting this demonstration?
It has begun. That's how we started. And if you listen to the music, we have become slaves in our own land. And the slave master is Akufo-Addo. And so it's a very clear signal that we are sending to Akufo-Addo that it is not right for a human being to turn his fellow human being into a slave. And that is why we have gathered here to mass up and make sure the numbers become enough to tell him that enough of the slavery, to tell him enough of the thievery, enough of the stealing, enough of corruption, enough of the torture, enough of all the wickedness, enough of all the unaccountability. Right. That is why we have gathered here.
When will the marching begin, the actual marching?
That's what I've told you, that it has just begun. Okay. You can see people are marching from end to end. And
we are the same venue, that is what I'm asking.
Yes, we should be stagnated here at some point. And when we begin to move, everyone will now begin to follow us.
For you were a known member of the MPP. Why have you, looks like you are no longer supporting them? What is the main reason why?
If you have a thief in your family and you don't tell the public that this is a thief, they will say every one of the members of your family is a thief. If you have a slave master amongst you, your family, you have to identify that person and let the person be sold out to the world that he is a slave master. So we are telling the whole world that Akufo-Addo is the slave master and he is using every means to enslave the people and impoverish us. Much as we know, we are not supposed to be slaves in our land. Today, slaves have taken over the reins of government and they have made the royals of this land more than slaves. And that is why we are sending a strong signal that you cannot borrow 270 billion and tell a country that has given you so much that the country is now broke. And we are sending a strong signal to Ken Ofori-Atta that we know of all his dealings. internationally, we know him to be that type that has taken our monies and put in tax havens.
Okay.
That is why we have gathered here to send a strong signal that enough of the thievery. E-levy remains an armed robbery policy on us.
Thank you very much. The contention now will be when the demonstration will be terminated. You know, yesterday the court gave a ruling that you should terminate the demonstration by 4 p.m. Are you going to follow the order that was given by the court? We know your lawyers have filed an appeal and they filed a stay of execution pending a hearing of the appeal. Are you going to do that? Will you march in the night?
As far as I know, everyone will have to at least speak. We are a group of 63 different groups. So everyone must have a voice. Once we are done, we don't have any problem staying outside because we have another demonstration tomorrow coming up and we don't have to be exhausted for tomorrow's meeting.
Thank you. That was Listo Nana Poku I just spoke to. But Annie, I must say that this demonstration is made up of a lot of civil society organizations. I have one of them with me here. He is known in the media realms as a security analyst. He has a civil society organization. Adib, you're welcome to Metro TV. Why are you joining this demonstration?
Two major reasons. One, I'm responding to the president's clarion call for us to be citizens and not spectators. It is the responsibility of every Ghanaian to not just talk about what is happening, but to act it. We have a responsibility to be part and parcel of the governance process. Secondly, I am here as a Ghanaian and nothing else. As a member of the civil society space, we understand, recognize, and appreciate the destabilizing effect of what is going on in the country. By the day, more and more people are pushed into uncertainty, particularly young people. More and more people are becoming desperate. More and more Ghanaians are pushed below the poverty line. And we do recognize the effects it might have on the security of the state. I have never been to any protest. This is my first. So that should tell you the importance attached to this and the severity of the whole economic management of this current administration.
Thank you very much, Adib, for speaking to us. So, it's one of the persons who is joining the demonstration. I've been joined here by Adam Abana. He's a leading member, a leading member of the NDC, and he's here with us today. Adam, some people have asked the question like, this looks like an NDC demonstration. Is that what it is?
This is a demonstration by Ghanaians for Ghanaians. Members of the NDC are Ghanaians and they are here. Members of the CPP are Ghanaians and they are here. There are thousands others who are not members of the NDC or any other political party and they are also here. In fact, I have seen NPP members here and they are here. The truth is that even the leading members of the NPP, they are hungry. Many of them know that the Akufo-Addo and his family, their cronies, are the only ones enjoying. The country is in a mess, but they can't talk about it. They are afraid. So we are doing this for the people of Ghana. We are doing it for the youth of Ghana, and we are doing it on their behalf. And indeed, the NDC is a major stakeholder in Ghana's democracy. So what is wrong, even if it were an NDC demonstration? The most important thing is that all the issues that we are speaking about, the ones you can see on the various placards, are they the truth? Yes. Look at this. We are demanding a probe into how COVID expenditure was done. Look at this. We are saying that the cost of living is unbearable. Young people cannot get jobs. So this is a historic day. It's a historic demonstration, and we are doing it for the people of Ghana.
I'm sure you'll be speaking to some the leaders of the group. What is uncertain now, you're one of the leaders of the group. What is uncertain now is whether or not we'll be marching in the evening. Will it happen?
I can assure you that as long as you see us here today and we are demonstrating, our original plan still sticks. Look,
So you go to the Jubilee House.
we are going to the Flagstaff House. We are going there. That is where the cronism, that is where the thievery is happening. The Flagstaff House has become a crime scene. And so we are sending our message there. Nobody can stop us. The courts cannot stop us. The police cannot stop us. We are marching to the Flagstaff House. We refuse to be intimidated. I can assure you of one thing. As for today, the youth of Ghana will send a strong message. We are going to the Flagstaff House. Let no security officer dare to stop us, because we are going to the Flagstaff House.
What will happen if they dare stop you? Because they also have a clear order from the High Court to terminate the demonstration by 4 p.m. What will happen if they try to stop you?
Do you know one thing that is interesting? Many of the police officers here, we are fighting for them. Some of them, their salary has not seen any significant increment in the past 5 years. Many of the police officers you see today are hungry. Some of them cannot afford 3 square meals. They know that the corruption of Akufo-Addo is affecting them. They know that they are not getting the support that they were getting when the NDC was in power. Whatever we are doing is in the interest of the police and everybody else. Whatever it is, of court order, whatever, we don't know of any court order.
Your lawyers were in court yesterday.
What we know is that we went to court, we filed a stay of execution, and we are proceeding with our plan. We will really throw one stone. We are going to the Flagstaff House, and we are letting the people of Ghana and the whole world know that the incompetent, the failed, the corrupt Akufo-Addo government is bringing untold hardship on the people of Ghana. We are crying for help. Today is the day to make that statement.
What will be the route you will use?
While we announce the route, we'll gather here for a while, take speeches from the leaders. From here, then we will march straight to the Akwa Eje area, then to the Flagstaff House, where we'll present a petition. Nobody will stop us, I can assure you.
Thank you very much, Mapada. So, Annie, as I speak to you now it is clear in our minds what the organizers would want to do. What they would want to do now is that they will march from here, move to the Akwa Eje interchange, and head towards the Jubilee House. That is what they would want to do. As that, when the demonstration or the marching will begin, we don't know when it is going to begin, but we'll stay here and be giving you all the details as and when it happens. But I can tell you there is heavy vehicular traffic here. There is heavy vehicular traffic here. Vehicles are not moving because the road is choked. There are thousands of persons who have gathered here, clad in red and black, holding placards. These are visible placards you could see here. This is one of them saying that Echapa is another product of your organized crime syndicate. So there are a lot of placards here. I will leave it here for you to continue in the studio. When the marching starts, you can come back to us to give you some more details. So reporting here from the Obra Sport here at the Kwame Nkrumah Interchange, I'm Henry Kwesi Bedu.
I will bring you all the details as Henry is also pitched camp with the team, that's a Rise Ghana team made up of some civil society organizations and some political party reps as well. Meanwhile, earlier, the IGP George Akuffo Dampare cautioned officers to treat the Rise Ghana protesters with respect.
The end so beautifully. Next point is that we should continue to remember that those demonstrators are human beings like us. Those demonstrators are Ghanaians like us. They are brothers and sisters. And therefore, we should treat them with all the respect, the severity, and the dignity that each and every human being deserves. In effect, we should treat them the way we would have loved to be treated if we were on the other side. And from that, it means, as you go out there, if anybody needs help, help the person. If it is you, that is your effort, that is going to take for somebody to continue to live in order to accomplish his God-given destiny, please do that. And do that joyously. Do that with love. Do that with a sense of humility. Do that with a sense of humility and humanity. And at the end of the day, we win the hearts and minds of these demonstrators. And as a way of contributing towards that, we are deploying 2 mobile police hospitals for the purpose of this demonstration, both for yourself and also for any demonstrator who may need our assistance in this regard. We want to show the world that as a country, our democracy is growing from strength to strength. And this is a finest opportunity to demonstrate that. And we cannot, and I repeat, we cannot miss this opportunity. So finally, as we go there, and with all that we have shared, we want to see that the end product will be as follows. One, the demonstrators themselves and their leadership will be so happy with us that after the demonstration, they will come and wanting to say a big thank you. Two, the rest of the people of Ghana will also be so glad in terms of the way we have conducted ourselves and in terms of the way the demonstrators have also behaved, such that we will be proud of ourselves as a country. And three, the rest of the world will also continue to see us as a beacon of hope in the sub-region and beyond when it comes to democracy, when it comes to peace, when it comes to demonstration of humanity. So as we go there, we know we can do exactly that. Let's go there and shine. Let's go there and win the hearts and minds of the demonstrators. Let's go there and win the hearts and minds of the people who are not.
Right, so let's see how this demonstration actually ends by the end, close of 2 days as the Arise Ghana team has scheduled. Meanwhile, what has put these people on the streets, that's the hardship of the people. On Monday, leading member of the NPP, Gabi Asare-Otchere-Darko, in a tweet indicated that the e-levy has not raked in the projected revenue. According to him, it does not mean it is a bad task, but only implies that Ghanaians do not want to pay taxes. His tweet comes on the heels of Ghana's dire economic situations, reviving the conversation whether Ghana should return to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, or not. My colleague, Job Loboja, has more.
Leading member of the New Patriotic Party, Gabi Otchere-Darko, has once again steered conversations on and off social media whether Ghana should return to the IMF following the failure of the e-levy to rake in the necessary revenues. His first tweet reads, after 5 months of stalemate and bashing, the e-levy after implementation is delivering only 10% of estimated revenues. He continues by saying that the e-levy, which was to have given us some 600 million cedis, has so far done less than 60 million. Interestingly, he says the tax policy is not a bad one and rather blames the poor performance on Ghanaians' refusal to pay taxes. So if the e-levy fails, will the IMF be the next option? According to the NPP stalwart, he is against an IMF program that will further impoverish Ghanaians, hurt jobs and businesses. What then is the way out? Well, only time will tell. Job Loboja, Metro News, Accra.
Now let's go to Parliament, and meanwhile, the ranking member of the Communications Committee of Parliament, A.B. Fusaini, says the abysmal financial receipt of the e-levy transaction is a reflection of the stiff opposition of the e-levy by Ghanaians. He is therefore calling on government to immediately withdraw the controversial tax. All right, before we bring that, let's give you, the bite from the majority leader, and then we'll get to A.B. Fusaini.
Your take on government's concession yesterday that the target is set for itself with regards to the e-levy, it's not been reached, and a possibility of government going to the IMF for a bailout.
Well, we told them. We told them that e-levy is not going to be the solution to the economic hardship that we are experiencing as a result of the inefficiencies of their policies. We told them. So their response at the time was that, oh, e-levy is going to be the solution to everything. In fact, to the extent that when ministers come to the chamber to answer questions, they will say that, oh, you pass the e-levy, and then your concerns will be addressed. Giving hope to Ghanaians that if e-levy is passed, all the problems of this country will be resolved. We told them that e-levy
cannot be the solution to the hardship that we are going through. And we advise that, well, the best thing for you to go to the fund for a program which can put you in line on what to do, because they don't want to go to the fund in order to be directed on what to do. They want a free hand so that they can do whatever they want to do to plunge this economy deep into hardship. But it's surprising that they have come to the realization that there is a need for them to go to the fund. And we will support them to go to the fund because we know that the fund will tell them you can't do certain things which they are doing now. So it's a vindication to we the minority who always say that the e-levy cannot be the solution. So if it is true that they want to go to the fund, we will support them.
The concern has been the conditions that would be attached to a possible, bailout from the IMF. Are we willing or in the position as a nation to yield to those demands?
If you cannot discipline yourself, then you might be whipped by a headmaster. And that is a fun. We are NDC, I say NDC because I'm an NDC man. So Ghana is a member of the fund. And one of the benefits that we derive as a member of the fund is to be assisted technically in order to manage your economy. They have come to a point that they have to go to the fund so that you can be asked to do certain things and whip in line to do it in order to ensure that your economy, the ailing economy, can be revived. It is like going to a hospital. You are at the critical stage of dying. And when you go to the hospital and you are given a medication, it's going to be a bitter pill, but you have to swallow it. If you swallow it, it means that you are going to be cured of that ailment. We need to go to the fund and go according to those conditionalities so that your economy will be healed. So if they are talking about conditionality, fine. If they don't want to go by that, then they should not go to the fund. They should rely on the e-levy to solve our problems.
Oh, there's a suggestion by members of the ruling government that your side embarked on a relentless crusade against the e-levy, and that explains why Ghanaians seem not to be buying into the e-levy, Momo transactions. That has, to a large extent, affected, revenue being received through the e-levy. What would you say to that?
Well, if you want to force the hands of Ghanaians to pay taxes that they are not willing to pay, you cannot blame the opposition party. But we did not tell Ghanaians not to transfer money through Momo. No, we only told the government that effect that will be on Ghanaians. And that's a fact, that your salary has been taxed, and you want to transfer part of that net salary that you receive to your mother or your parents far back at home, government is taxing you again. And we told Ghanaians about that. We didn't tell Ghanaians not to transfer the money. If Ghanaians have found different way of transferring money to their parents, that cannot be blamed on the minority. So I refuse that position that we have caused Ghanaians not to transfer money. Never. We have not. We only told the truth as a responsible minority.
Apologies for the earlier miscommunication. That is rather the Deputy Minority Leader, James Kuji Afeji. Now, let's go to ABA Hussaini, who is a ranking member for the Communications Committee, who also thinks that the response of Ghanaians to the e-levy policy that was introduced by government is show that this e-levy is illegal and has urged government to scrap the policy.
In fact, we feel more than vindicated. And we have indicated it from the very onset that it was even absolutely unnecessary to impose the e-levy. And so, look, I can tell you that our vindication is even more given the vim when you consider that as we speak, there is rumor going around that they are already having talks with the IMF. So for the likes of leading member of the NPP like Gabi Ochidaku to come and say something like that, they are already there. And they're only
True.
sending feelers to Ghanaians to see how Ghanaians feel about it. But I can tell you that they are there already. And the economy has been so badly run aground that today, as we speak, my brother, they have no other decision to turn to. And we told you that the e-levy, in the most optimistic of what they thought we'll get, will not be more than even 20-30% of what today we are seeing it. And it is coming from them because Ghanaians have overwhelmingly rejected the e-levy. That's what it has been. This is a signal that Ghanaians are just not in favor of any patronage of the e-levy at all. And for me, this tells you that this government is...
Isn't that because from the word go, your side had told Ghanaians not to patronize the e-levy?
When we tell Ghanaians something that they Ghanaians don't like, they will not take it. If we say what Ghanaians say they like, and in this particular matter, we were speaking for Ghanaians, and the overwhelming money, in fact, surveys upon surveys have been done, and more than 90%, Massa, if you are putting a policy where more than 90% of the people say that they don't like it, you withdraw it, go back to the drawing board, and tinker with it, hold more consultations, try and win a consensus.
They didn't hit your council.
They didn't hit West Council, not just our council.
Now let's do some more on e-levy. Some mobile money merchants in Accra revealed that there has been a reduction in the mobile money transactions since introduction of the electronic transaction levy, that's the e-levy, popularly known as. Now, this comes on the back of Imani's reports that Momo transactions have reduced by 83%. The merchants believe Ghanaians have found different means of transferring monies devoid of e-levy charges. We engage Geoffrey Okansi, who is a tax expert, to speak on the impact of the drop of the Momo and the revenue in the future. Thank you, Geoffrey, for joining us on Newsbeat. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Right. So let me first ask you, is it professional or practical that sometimes when you introduce, some new tax policies, you may want to give it a certain, trial period to see how it's going to be successful? Is that doable?
Well, it is right from the scratch. You rather should do consultation and communication. You should do a lot of consultation with the game players in the issue of e-levy. You are talking about the telecos who were the service providers, and then also the Momo agents who were also sector players, as well as the general public. I mean, those who are going to be transferring the money via the electronic platform. So there needed to have been a consultation to ensure that we properly agree on what we are going to do, and then also a communication plan that would announce to every sector player as well as the general public of what's going to be done. You realize that the sector players, the game players themselves, as in the telecos, came out to complain before the start of the e-levy. And then the Momo agents also came out to speak about it. The general populace, there were studies carried out among academia, among tax advocates, among the general populace. People did not have a clear understanding, and others too did not believe in the e-levy right from the word go. And so clearly you can see that 2 C's were not well done. And then the final C, which is communication and transparency around tax resources, raised the problem. So it should tell you that the implementation was a problem, and then also during implementation, post-implementation, there were problems. We had also predicted negative impacts, and then we spoke about them. It was ignored. The available options that are available gave people the chance to actually ensure that once you've gone ahead to pass it, they will also adopt the available options of payment.
So, I mean, I thought we did enough consultation where we had a whole nationwide tour of, town hall meetings led by the finance minister and some ministers, who were in charge of the various regions that we visited. Was that not good enough?
No, that was clearly not. It was inadequate. On one of the programs that you interviewed me, I pointed on Metro TV. I pointed clearly that it clearly looked more like a delayed process of communication, because it was when people had actually come out to protest against it, that was when you saw the town hall meetings, okay? So it was more like a knee-jerk reaction sort of a thing. You have state institutions like the National Commission for Civic Education, you have the Information Services Department. All these are platforms that could have been explored ahead of the passage of the e-levy. But you can be sure that it wasn't only a problem of communication. Like I told you, the predicted impact, the tax burden that it was transferring to the citizenry, it was a problem. And also the available payment options created a loophole for other people to look at very genuine ways of paying their bills. Then also there was a deliberate avoidance illegally, where people, were actually exploring the opportunity of sending the money and making the persons who are receiving the money go and fake as their persons who are actually withdrawing for personal gains. This is another thing we mentioned ahead of the time. There was a mass protest on tax accountability. Let me tell you what, when you hear people talk every day that other parts of the world, people are paying taxes and they are complying, let them also know that in that part of the world, people are complying also because they see what their tax resources are being used for. Tax accountability is very key when it comes to tax compliance. Majority of the people who were talking and complaining about this e-levy were saying that they have not seen what their tax resources have been used for, and they've also seen the wanton abuse of the tax resources. The high rate was also another issue. You remember, then people thought it was going to be pegged at 1% or lower, but you see it was higher. This is the case I saw this morning on my Momo. I actually transferred money, and what I noticed was that the service provider, the teleco, was even charging lesser than the government who is standing by to take taxes. I mean, it discourages people from using the platform.
So by what you're saying, it's obvious that the Ghanaian has become more sophisticated and very much awake to the exigencies of the times, and so they have ways and means of finding their own ways by making life comfortable for themselves. As a tax expert, what are the new measures to be employed when government wants to introduce a policy such as these?
Well, I think moving forward, what they could do now is actually to review the charge. Clearly, people are actually complaining about the charge and the cost burden it brings to them. They should also properly target the e-levy. When we were starting the discussions around the e-levy, we were saying e-business transactions should be targeted. We were looking at e-business transactions like the Amazons, the Superbet, and the rest. I mean, those are transactions and people are selling ton, people are selling houses and cars via the e-platform. These were businesses that we were expecting that the government should take advantage and tax them, but not somebody sending money or remittance to their families. Put systems in place to also check the loopholes, like I told you early on. They should also look at the properly engaging the sector players, the service providers, the telecos, and listen to them, not just engage them, listen to them at a stakeholder forum so that we can have this thing settled once and for all. We should also embark on mass education, which is also very important. And then finally, we should look at the problem of tax accountability. People are paying the taxes. They would want to see what the taxes are used for. Let the transparency stand for. But do not let it stand as if we pay the taxes and we should not be bothered about what the tax resources are used for. You want to see roads, you want to see schools, you want to see hospitals built. When people see all this, they become tax compliant and they avoid using the exit routes.
Right. Geoffrey Okansi, I'm grateful for your time. He's a tax expert speaking to us on the updates of what's going on with the e-levy. You're watching Newsbeat here on Metro TV. Let's take a breather. We'll be back with more. Welcome back to Newsbeat. Let's do some more stories. And there was a standoff between residents of Noaso on Monday and the military officers who accompanied ECG officials to begin the installation of prepaid meters. Now, in neighboring Bonguno, the residents also masked up and marched towards the Noaso to confront the soldiers. The assemblyman for Noaso New Town, Raymond Asari, accused the ECG of failing to sensitize them before proceeding with the installation exercise.
from one Nene Tepete, doctor, that the ECG guys are in the community. So quickly, I rushed to the community. I saw a lot of guys agitating around that they need more of education before this exercise can continue. They want to know the reason behind they coming in. No education, then they will not allow. A guy began to confront the military, but the military team told them that they are not ready to talk to anybody. So when I came, I also approached them and I told them that I want to find out what is happening. Before I know they are doing the exercise, what is happening? Before they are also telling me that they can't give me anything. The information on the ground is that they are here to restore the pipade and nothing else. Well, we went to the old town to meet my colleague at the other side. So we met the chiefs, and the commander himself was part, Mr. Ochre himself, the manager. We all agreed that, okay, because the people are saying they need education, tomorrow we will schedule for New Town and Old Town. In the morning for New Town, in the afternoon for Old Town. In the morning, here will be 10 o'clock, in the afternoon at Old Town.
Now, Samuel Togo is the assembly member for Nyaso Old Town, that he joins me via phone to speak to us on what is happening with the people. Sammy, thank you for your time. Good afternoon. Welcome to Newsbeat. So why are your people agitating? I thought that the ECG officials said that they were already having this, education and sensitization with you before the installation.
It's not all that true. They have it with the assemblymen, and the grassroots, they are not able to come down to the grassroots. So the information in the grassroots is poor. That's the situation on the ground. Myself, I don't have the information yesterday that they are coming. I don't know where to get the credit, where to get it, and myself, I don't know. So yesterday I told them, Frank, they're disappointed. That's the fact. So not that the people don't like the prepaid or so, but the way they go about it, it's not fair, and that is the situation on the ground.
So at what level was the engagement? When you say grassroots, who makes up the grassroots, and at what level do you think the ECG officials engage the community?
Well, they have to organize this thing for the community people to joy. This is where you get it, this way. And the community people are also saying that you see, when you come to my community, you can see the type of houses there. The whole house, there's tenants in the house, and there's 1 meter. And so you are coming to give only one. This they are complaining. So how are they going to manage that prepaid with that big house? I think so. Is the ECG they have to explain to them this or this? But they don't have any information. Myself, I don't have that information.
Have you asked the military to move out of your community? Have you sacked them or driven them out?
No, we don't sack them. We joy. We joy. They see the protest, and they see, and we talk to them, and they understand that they have to go back. Then later, we see the way forward. But not sacking. No. Because the situation yesterday is I saw. So they also saw the situation that at least we have to go back. Then we see the way forward.
Persons in your community are refusing to pay electricity bills, which is why you are playing certain games by preventing the ECG to install the prepaid meters. How far is that true?
No. People are not saying they are not paying. They say they overbill. That's the situation. When we are using water company is also there. They are paying and everything. There's no problem with water company. They said they're overbilling. The issue is only overbilling. Not that the people are not paying, or my community people are saying they are not paying. Why? You use and you not pay. There's no sense in it. But there's a cross. They said overbilling. That's the situation on the ground. Not to pay. No. So that is out.
All right, Samuel, let me move to your member of parliament in the area, the MP for Lower Manya Krobo, Ebenezer Oklete Telabi, who joins me via Zoom to speak to us on this development. Honorable member, thank you for your time. Good afternoon. Welcome to Newsbeat. What are you going to say about the situation in your constituency now? The military, obviously, the scene or the sight of them is creating fear and panic for your people, and there's always almost a standoff between the people and the military.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. So the fact is that the speaker has given a directive, and the ministers involved have been instructed to remove, the military. The Minister of Energy and then the Minister of Defense have been asked, they've been directed to get the military off the streets, of the Kobo area, because that is what is creating the tension. And that is not happening. So
why is that not happening? Why is that not happening? Are you finding it difficult to implement that?
Sorry?
Hello, yes, I'm asking if you, as an MP, you're finding it difficult to implement that.
Implement the remover?
Yes, of the military from your constituency, as ruled over by the speaker.
The fact is that they have been instructed, the minister has been directed to get the military off. It is the minister, it was the minister who released the military to join the ECG people. And he is the only person who can, because I called the municipal director of ECG, and he told me that he works with with some authority, from Accra, and he has not gotten any directive from them to remove them. So he's still doing his work with them. So the behavior is contentious, and the speaker must get to know that this is what is happening.
Have you reported this back to the speaker?
Sorry?
Have you reported it back to the speaker for him to know that his ruling, has been...
Now, I am in parliament now. I am exploring. I want to get, the attention of the speaker. So I raised the concern again, because I complained because of the kind of tension that was mounting in the area as a result of the presence of the military. And that is the reason why the speaker gave that directive. And the minister involved is not adhering to the directive. And therefore, I must report back to the speaker.
How is this difficult? I mean, speaker has ruled, a minister must act on it. Yeah. Is there a problem between parliament and the executive?
Well, maybe it's just lawlessness. It is lawlessness. It is lawlessness. Or disrespect for the authority of parliament.
Honorable member, will you hear? Thank you for your time. We'll talk to you later. We'll see how the updates of this issue also go. Right. Yes, member of parliament for the area. That's Ebenezer Oklete Telabi, who was speaking to us for Lower Manya Krobo. Winston Taki standing by with business updates. My brother, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Annie. It's now time to bring your business right here after this. And now to a first business story. Passengers who frequently use Ayalolo buses should brace themselves to pay more. Following constant increase in fuel prices, managers of the bus rapid transit system say they too are compelled to raise their fares to stay afloat. Head of operations at Ayalolo, Charles Anand, spoke exclusively to my colleague Watima Osei.
Ayalolo, a Ga word meaning still moving on, is a name given to one of government's urban transport projects aimed at providing easy and cheap means of moving around the city. It was initially planned as a bus transit system with dedicated lanes, but was later changed to Quality Bus System (QBS) due to the unavailability of dedicated lanes. Currently, Ayalolo operates from Accra to Amasaman, Adenta to Accra, Kaswa to Accra, and Ofankor to Accra. The Ayalolo provides a cheaper means of transportation to its users. Following the incessant increase in fuel, management says it is compelled to increase its fares. According to Head of Operations at Ayalolo, Charles Annan, even though Ayalolo is cheaper compared to Trotro, a 15% increment by the GPRTU will push them to increase their fares.
If you compare our prices with the normal Trotro prices, it's usually between 10 to 15% less than what the market charges today. Even though we admit that Ayalolo is a 100% government-owned project, our cost of operations is not subsidized. We bear full cost of operation. So we buy fuel at market rate, and cost of maintenance on our buses are very huge. So currently, if you compare our operational costs to the revenues that are coming, we have a shortfall of about 25 to 30% of shortfall in revenue, which is seriously affecting our operations. So any increment now will even push us a little further in stabilizing the kind of exorbitant operational costs we are incurring. We currently, for Ayalolo to break even, we even have to increase our fares to about 30%. And at that point, we'll be actually working at cost.
On the reintroduction of the rapid bus transit system, the head of operations gave an assurance that plans are being advanced to introduce dedicated lanes for the Ayalolo buses.
We have developed a concept called the contraflow. And in the contraflow, this is what it works. In the mornings, you realize that our traffic movement is directional. So in the morning, everybody is coming to town, and the other part of the road is basically free sometimes. Contraflow will give the buses one lane in the other lane that is free, so that the buses will move faster ahead of the traffic. That we are discussing with government because it has a lot of implications that we need to do a lot of sensitization and everything. So we are almost finalizing the arrangement to deploy a contraflow system in Accra, which will be backed by serious publicity so that people will know and it will be advertised within certain times. The buses will have a certain priority on certain lanes that the people have to be wary of. So that, we believe, is what will save the current situation. Because we understand that Ayalolo is the only bus service that can alleviate the hardship of the current transport prices on commute.
Away from that, the Progressive People's Party has asked the government to pay customers of the defunct Black Shield Company Limited their locked-up cash. The PPP said the government has not shown commitment to retrieving customers' locked-up cash 3 years after the company's license was revoked. In a press statement, the PPP asked about the whereabouts of some over 8 billion Ghana cedis approved by Parliament for the payment of customers. SEC revoked the licenses of some 53 fund management companies, which according to them was to protect the integrity of the securities market and investors. The disgruntled customers have embarked on a series of protests to push for the government's intervention in retrieving their funds from Black Shield Fund Management. The Progressive People's Party is asking the government and the Securities and Exchange Commission to pay all affected customers of the Black Shield Gold, formerly known as Gold Coast Fund Management Company Limited, with immediate effect. It could be recalled that in November 2019, the government, through SEC, revoked the license of GCFM. Before the revocation, the company presented a proposal to government to allow the company repay all affected customers within a 3-year period under a new fund management arrangement called Cardinal Fund. This proposal by the owners of the company was flatly rejected, and the government proposed to repay the affected customers after the revocation. That'll be all for business here on Newsbeat. My name is Winston Taki. We take a break. We'll be back with sports after this.
Welcome back and good afternoon. It's time for sports. My name is Faye John Quarted. After winning an MTN Cup trophy for the 12th time, Accra Hasselhoff get a chance to represent Ghana in the CAF Confederation Cup. Their spokesperson, Kwame Opariado, says that they will make amends this time around in Africa.
A lot of lessons have been learned in the previous competition, so I'm very much positive that whatever that didn't go well for us in the that's ensure that we didn't qualify to the group stages or we didn't qualify to the knockout stages. We'll work on all of that and make sure that this time round we have to tell a very positive story so that the image of the club will continue to rise higher and higher. Hasselhoff is a huge platform. We are always looking out for the best. So based on technical recommendation, wherever that the player will come from, once the player fits into whatever that we want, I'm sure the club will not hesitate to get them.
Well, meanwhile, Carlos Alcaraz also qualified for the second round of the Wimbledon Championship. That's your sports for me there. My name is Faye John Quartet. This is standing by for Showbiz. Welcome back. My name is Desmond Okreku. Now, Ghanaian singer Miss V has expressed her excitement over her new project titled 1030, and the album was launched at the Front Back in Osu, and Metro News spoke to her.
Always wanted to stand in for the girls because it's a very difficult industry for the females. And so anytime I get the chance, I want to show up and show out. And I think I did that today. Because you don't find a lot of girls making it to 10 years in the industry because it's so tough for us. So this year, I didn't want to do anything simple. I actually wanted to really celebrate because it's a big milestone. And I'm proud of myself, proud of my team, thankful for the fans I have and my family. And to you guys. It's love. It's a love album. I had a lot of fun recording this album. The promo for this album is going to really be big, and videos as well, so expect the unexpected.
Also at that concert, Stone Boy and D Black called for more support for female artists in the country.
I feel like we should just consider them as artists in the industry. We all go through a lot, but to be a female and be in the thick and the thin of the industry, which is male-dominated, it's a plus for her to be able to do this for 10 plus years. So I give her hats off to Ms. V for still be here in the industry.
So like women always have bigger challenges, I believe, because they are complex in nature. So it trickles on to everything they do in life, basically. So that's why they need they need more support. You know what I mean? And it's not easy to be a girl in the industry. You know all the pressures.
And Kitty is set to drop a new joint with Mavado. We'll bring you the details on that. That's it for entertainment. And my name is Desmond Okreku. Danswani is standing by for the rest of the bulletin.
Right, Desmond. Thank you for the international entertainment news. Let's go for international stories.
Approximately 6 this evening, San Antonio Fire Department responded to 9600 Quintana Road for a report of a dead person. Engine 52 arrived and found the trailer, as Chief McManus mentioned, with a body outside and several that they could visibly see inside once the doors were opened. At this time, we have processed approximately 46 bodies that have been triaged and tagged and declared deceased at this time. Fortunately, we were able to transport 16 people. 12 of those are adults and 4 pediatric. All of them were conscious at the time upon transportation. The patients that we saw were hot to the touch. They were suffering from heat stroke, heat exhaustion, no signs of water in the vehicle. It was a refrigerated tractor trailer, but there was no visible working AC unit on that rig. We are currently putting those 60 members through critical incident stress debriefing. Again, we're not supposed to open up a truck and see stacks of bodies in there. None of us come to work imagining that. So we're working through the behavioral health for our folks right now.
Well, that's the story of about 46 people found dead in an abandoned truck in Texas, and the police is investigating. and we'll give you updates as and when. That's all we have for you this afternoon on Newspeak. It came to you live from the Ikea Boyma studio at North Ridge. My name is Amir Fong.